host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I am Andrew Romanella. I am your host, and I got you for the next 25 minutes or so, and we hope you're excited for this Monday, June 23rd show, because we are here celebrating not one, but two championships from yesterday between Louisiana State University in the Men's College World Series and the Oklahoma City Thunder in the National Basketball Association. So we will break down both today, plus, if some time avails, we will discuss Kevin Durant being traded to the Houston Rockets. I find it so ironic that KD gets traded to like his sixth team after being essentially the face of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and not from the scenario of SGA or Russell Westbrook or the face of X team. He legitimately took the team from being the Seattle Supersonics to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he was the superstar they drafted to make this thing happen. When the entire franchise left Seattle and went to Oklahoma City, Kevin Durant was the prime ticket in town. Kevin Durant was who they founded the entire new organization around, after being drafted out of Texas and playing the last season as a Seattle Supersonic. And like 20 years later, the Oklahoma City Thunder win a championship. And not with Kevin Durant, who's still in the league, by the way, and is arguably still one of the best players in the league, by the way, statistics wise. And it's a beautiful day for the Thunder. So we will discuss some NBA Finals action. Before we talk about anything, though, we let the people know the Rome Show on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, all the social media sites, the mothership, 12ozsports.com. YouTube and X is where we broadcast. Follow us on both. Comment live. Give us your thoughts. But that's not the championship we're starting it, ladies and gentlemen, because as a baseball guy, as a baseball coach, and on top of that, as a radio show host that's been on these airwaves before, that has complained about umpires before, I got a great one for you from LSU Coastal yesterday. But first, we tell you that LSU won their 8th national championship in baseball program history last night, and their second in 3 years for Jay Johnson and the program, ending on LSU alone. And when LSU needed it the most, they got two of the best starting pitching performances they could have ever asked for, blanking Coastal in the first game and holding them to 3 runs in the second. But that's not the story coming out of this game, because in the first inning, the Chanticleers head coach was thrown out for, as people like to call it, arguing balls and strikes. Coach Snow, if you watch the video, was really just trying to figure out why the official was what it looked like to be was talking to the first base coach. Okay. We're going to get this video queued up for the people here, and you can see what happened. Here it is. Back to the Coastal dugout. Bam, freeze frame right here. Okay. You see Coach Snell on the field. He's annoyed because he doesn't really know what's going on. Now, in this moment right here, he's telling the umpire the reason something was said to him and the umpire needs to warn somebody is because you can't argue balls and strikes. So Coach Snell's response is, you've missed 3 or whatever the case is, okay? And because majority of umpires, unfortunately, this is just the truth, have really soft skin and can't handle this, he decides to make the national championship game 2 about himself, and he throws Coach Snell out of the game. Have some feel, buddy. Okay? And then they call it a prolonged ejection. Why is it a prolonged ejection? I'll show you right here. Embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. This rightfully so, by the way. Rightfully so. You shooed me away like I'm a child, which is embarrassing. We're 2 grown men. Okay. Secondly, I have every right to figure out why you're warning my assistant. Okay. Thirdly, I'm tired of the you can't argue balls and strikes thing. I'm tired of the, you can't say anything from anywhere about what the strike zone is. What? Okay. Here's the NCAA rule. Okay. NCAA playing rule 36F, note 1 states that balls, strikes, half swings, or decisions about hit by pitch situations are not to be argued. After a warning, any player or coach who continues to argue balls, strikes, half swings, or hit by pitch situation shall be ejected from the game. So let me ask you an honest question, okay? Why is everything an argument? Why can I not ask if you've missed it? Why can't I? Me telling you missed a pitch is in theory not me arguing. It's me telling you missed a pitch. Hey, that ball was not up. It was definitely down. Warning for arguing balls and strikes. I mean, last time I checked, I wasn't arguing. I was disagreeing with your last pitch call, but there was no argument here. Baseball needs to change this. Okay, it's ridiculous, especially at the college level, because at the college level right now, we give these umpires so much power. So much power. Like, so essentially the rule states you can't say a word about that guy being atrocious at his job, by the way. So that guy could be atrocious, not call the real strike zone, be visibly bad, which happens all the time. And you can't do anything, okay? That's the first off. That's the most asinine part of the rule, okay? Asinine. Because you can't tell me I don't have a better view from where I'm standing when you suck with the view from where you're standing. So if you can't get it right from there, why is it so far-fetched to say I can get it right better from here? Or my catcher who catches the ball and looks at you like, wow, did you not just call that a strike? Or wow, you called that a strike? Is more right than you. That's the first part of it. The college umpires have too much power. They suck. They're just really bad. That's the first part of it. And you saw it on national television in the D1 championship game, the most important moment of the year. And this guy behind home plate throws up all over himself. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing to the game. And the best part is people look at the head coach of the baseball team and they're like, this guy's psychotic. I can't believe he's getting kicked out of the national championship game. It's like, no, he's not. He's trying to defend his players because the umpire is poor at his job. And by the way, the umpire who's poor at his job cannot handle being told that. So instead of being mature, turning around and, I don't know, call Coach Snell and say, come here. We're not doing this right now. Kev, it's the first inning of the national championship game. I ain't trying to throw you out. I can't have your assistant barking at me from behind the first base coach's box over there. My hands are tied right here. You get back to your dugout. Stop saying stuff to me about balls and strikes. He gets back into his coaching box. Stop saying anything about me and balls and strikes, and we move on from here. but to flick your fingers like you have so much power over the guy. Get back in the dugout. Get back in the dugout. And then to throw him out, whether he said you've missed 3 pitches or you've missed 3 effing pitches, I don't care. I do not care. The guy's playing in front of 25,000 people for his second national championship. Life-changing type stuff, program-changing type stuff, what we all play for. And you can't expect some emotions from the coaching staff? Enough emotions to be able to handle yourself, to not throw the guy out in the first inning? And then the best part about the power that the NCAA gives the umpires, now Coach Schnall is going to be ejected or suspended for 2 games. So now let's say the Chants win that game. Because after an ejection as a head coach, you're supposed to just bow like a church choir boy and walk out and say, I am so sorry, Mr. Umpire, sir. My bad. I should have never hurt you or your feelings. Though you're atrocious at your job, I should leave right now. So not only does the rule state you can't say a dang word about balls, strikes, HBPs, or other back there, half swings, not only does it say that, on top of that, if you don't leave right away, upon being ejected, they'll suspend you for 2 games. It's asinine. Furthermore, in addition to today's ejection, Coach Schnall is suspended for the next 2 games per NCAA playing rule 515A4, which states that an additional 2-game suspension is added to any other penalties. By rule, no team personnel may continue to argue or continue to excessively express themselves with prolonged actions or offensive language after an ejection. So, not only can I not have a conversation with you, disagree with you, or any of the above about your strike zone, which could be bad. No, I mean, are we just pretending like these guys aren't bad at their jobs most of the time, especially at the college level? Like, wow. Like, if I started filming all of the umpires that we get at the NCAA college level, it's atrocious. And when we go on the road and talk as coaches, you're looking around, you're like, who the hell are these guys? And I love it because it's like, oh, no one wants to umpire anymore because coaches are rails. I would actually argue that you should want to umpire college and higher sports because we care. Duh. Isn't that what you want to be a part of? But you can't do a job and then expect it to be sunshine and rainbows all day. Yeah, of course people are going to disagree with you. This is competition, man. And you're making the decisions. And so be better at your job if you want less people to get on you for making your decisions. But you're making a pretty good buck here, bro. We're paying you some legit money to be here. Especially I feel like we're paying D3 umpires really well. Look at what do you think that guy's getting for the college? And that's the College World Series. That's how that man handles himself on the most important stage for NCAA baseball. That's what he does. It's embarrassing. And then Coach Schnall gets suspended, so he should just leave, not say a word, not have his point, not be able to disagree. And how about you, okay? How about we do this? What if both head coaches agreed? Hey, you know what? We don't like the way you're handling yourself back there. We're going to throw you out of this game, and now you don't get your paycheck. That's it. What if we just called time after the 5th inning and said, hey, coach, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Hey, Johnny, you got to get the hell out of here. You're bad. Your strike zone's bad. You don't know. You can't control the game. You're out of here. What do you think that guy's going to do? He's just going to take his helmet off. All right. Oh, see you later. I got cut from today's game. Guess I won't get my paycheck. No, you'd freak out. Like, what? Like, imagine you're in a corporate meeting, okay? And you're having a conversation. And it's like, hey, you're not doing that right. It's like, get out of here. Well, what do you mean get out of here? Well, I can't have you disagreeing with me like that. I am above you, so you shut your mouth and you just get the hell out of here. It's like, what? That's not a logical way to respond. And yeah, oftentimes us coaches deserve the boot. I probably deserve 9.88888 of the 10 I get, right? Like if I had a 100% and I gave you a 99.89, I'll tell you that 99.89% of the time that I have been ejected, I probably deserved the ejection. My point is less about that, and it's more on the soft nature of the umpires and the inability for a college baseball coach to actually say anything to the guy behind home plate. It's embarrassing. And it trickles up to the MLB too. You'll see some of these videos where you're like, what the heck just happened? It's like, bro, you're an umpire. You chose to be the person that is handling this. It's like if you work at the DMV and you get annoyed that people are annoyed with you. It's like, bro, you chose to work at the worst institution ever, Department of Motor Vehicles. Never once has any person ever showed up to the DMV and had a good time. So if you expect people to come in here and be like, hey, Johnny, great to see you. Here for my real ID. Can't wait to get my new passport photo. Oh, this line's 67 people long and I'll be here for 5 hours. Man, I hope you have a great Tuesday. Like, what? No. So as an umpire, you cannot come into the game and expect to not hear one thing against your decision making. You gotta have thicker skin. And I feel bad for Coach Snell. I feel bad for Coastal. Still don't think they were going to win the game. But this should not be the story today. This should not be the story. So the NCAA, this needs to be figured out. And I can't wait till the baseball coach convention this year because I think maybe this year I'm going to raise my hand in the big room when the umpire is standing up there. And yeah, I do. What the hell's going on here? Why do we give so much power to these umpires? Why is there no protection of the head coach? Here's the last thing I want you to hear. This is Coach Snell in his presser after, and it is awesome.
Noah Beanick, 11.7. Coach, the 28th pitch of the first inning, were you warned prior to it? And then I know the home plate umpire kind of turned his back and walked away. Were any words shared from him to you afterwards?
There's 25,000 people there, and I vaguely hear a warning issued. As the head coach, I was assistant for 24 years, and as an assistant, you're almost treated like a second level citizen, and you can't say a word. Now as a head coach.
That's a fact. What he just said right there, my coaching buddies out there can attest to this. If you are an assistant coach, you are literally treated like a second-class citizen. Umpires will literally shoo you off like the little brother that everyone can imagine the teenage brother shoes off. Like, I don't have time for your 8-year-old semantics. I'm 17 and in high school. That's what it is like with any umpire and any assistant coach. Continue, Coach.
I think it is your right to get an explanation of why we got warned.
Hell yeah.
And I'm 48 years old. I shouldn't get shooed by another grown man.
Correct.
Right. So when I come out to ask what the warning is, a grown man shooed me.
Correct. And that same grown man was feeling the pressure of the moment and realizing, you're out of here because I can't handle this. I shouldn't be umpiring is really what it comes down to.
So at that point, I can now hear him say it was a warning issued for arguing balls and strikes. And at that point, I said, because you missed 3.
Which, you know what, dude? Who cares? Like, that's what hurt. Does that hurt your feelings? Oh, God.
At that point, ejected. If that warrants an ejection, I'm the first one to stand here like a man and apologize. 2 words that define our program are own it. And what does that mean is you have to own everything that you do without blame, without defending yourself, without excuses. If you guys watched the video, there was a guy that came in extremely aggressively, tripped over Campos's foot, embarrassed in front of 25,000.
That's exactly right.
Immediately goes 2-game suspension and said, bumping the umpire.
Which is really them saying he's prolonged his ejection and he needs to get out of here, which is asinine, but that's just me.
Immediately does that. There was no bump. He was embarrassed. I shouldn't be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism.
That could be the greatest line of all time. I should not be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism.
They'll retract it, though, because now it's excessive. And the reason why it's excessive, because I was trying to say, I didn't bump him. It is what it is. But if that warranted an ejection, man, there'd be a lot of ejections.
And, Coach, there are a lot of ejections. There are so many ejections. Yes, Coach, what you're saying is right. If it warrants an ejection, there will be a lot of ejections. There are. There are. It's at the end of the day, there's a problem with umpiring, with officiating in all sports. Okay? Outside of hockey, every other sports officiating, for lack of better words, is atrocious. Okay? Watching the NBA Finals last night, atrocious. What's a foul? What's a travel? Like, what are the rules? Like, the whole purpose of officiating is to be the rule police. That's it. You make sure the rules are abided. That's all. But unfortunately, for the last 15 to 20 years, officials have now become like the entertainment of the game. No, you're not. I want to not know that you exist or what you're wearing. It's everywhere. Officiating, umpiring is bad across all sports, but there is no worse place right now for officiating than in collegiate baseball. Kai, the goalie, writes, so we just not going to mention Rome got the crispy fade. Thank you. I usually wear a headband, so you might not notice what the hair looks like. My barber not happy about that. But my guy, JR, at High-End Barbershop in Morristown, New Jersey. He's the dude, okay? No better guy with the scissors and the buzzer in his hand on the beard than JR, High-End Morristown. Go there and get yourself a shape up like this, Kai. He also writes, Rome rants are the best rants. I got a personal connection to this one. Go to the Rome Show podcast roughly around May 12th or 13th and hear my rant on my Coach Schnall situation in our final game of the season. Not the final moment of the Rome Show today, though. That's right. We got to talk OKC, Indiana, back after this commercial break.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Yeah, the Rome Show, 12ouncesports.com. Broadcasting live on YouTube and X. Andrew Romanella here with you for a little bit longer. Got to talk NBA Finals. Oklahoma City. Yeah, they won it all last night. Defeating the Indiana Pacers in game number 7 of the finals last night. Great game for Indiana. Here it is. Or Oklahoma City, excuse me. So OKC wins 103-91. 29 points for SGA in this contest to lead all scorers. The biggest story of this game was the fact that Tyrese Halliburton went down 6 minutes into the contest. Looks like he may have torn his ACL. Halliburton was playing on a calf injury since game 5, which may have led to the Achilles blowing out 6 minutes into game 7. So that made it increasingly difficult for the Pacers, but they fought to the tune of a 1-point lead at halftime, 48-47, but a 14-point outscoring in the third quarter took the Thunder essentially far enough ahead of the Pacers that, though against this Pacers team, no lead is safe. Without Halliburton, it kind of was. Pacers made a 9-0 run late in the 9-1 run late in the fourth quarter, but it just wasn't enough. And the Thunder secured their first victory in OKC history. I'm going to save this one for tomorrow, along with the Kevin Durant, but we have to talk officials in the NBA as well, because I couldn't tell you what a foul is, couldn't tell you what a travel is. I couldn't tell you what officials are looking for at all. I could tell you that the regular season and the postseason are not the same. Big game for Jay Williams, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. In the finals, Williams averaged 23.6 points per game and 5 rebounds, to the point that SGA was named the NBA Finals MVP, and he handed the trophy to Williams and told him to hold it up because without him, there is no championship for the Thunder, and I completely agree with that. The 71 combined points he had in Game 4 and Game 5, while Chet was not shooting the basketball very well, and there was a belief that, man, this series could turn. Like, at one point in time, Indiana was up in this series 2-1, and they had a double-digit lead with 10 minutes left in the fourth game. Like, as quickly as this became OKC's series is as easily as we could be talking about the Pacers being the NBA champions right now. So no truer words have been spoken than what SGA said last night, which was there is no championship without Jalen Williams and his 23.6 points per game, which was elite for the OKC Thunder. The general manager of the Thunder, Sam Presti, deserves a lot of credit for what he was able to do, including the hiring of Mark Daigneault, who is the head coach of this Thunder team. And you might not know that, okay? You might not know that, because when you have a team that's as good as the Thunder winning 62 games and you have the most valuable player in the league on that team, and so many other stories, and so many other things and names that people know of or have heard of, sometimes you don't realize who's even coaching the boys. But this is a young coach that clearly gets the best out of his talent, and they clearly love each other. That is a team in Oklahoma City Thunder. And Sam Presti, since the inception of this organization, has done a fantastic job of making them a contender. And last night he said something that I feel like deserves to be said on there. He said, age is just a number, but sacrifice and maturity are characteristics. And that's what that team had. Sacrifice and maturity. They wanted to win for each other. They celebrated each other's successes. And therefore, they are the NBA champions when all is said and done. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the first player in 25 years to win the scoring title, the most valuable player, and the finals most valuable player in the same season. Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would be the other 3 players on that 4-man list that have done that. That goes to show you how good of a year SGA had. And before we get out of here, kudos to the Indiana Pacers. Heading into Game 7, this is what the scoring list looked like. What? For the finals? No wonder the Pacers were in every game, because there's so much opportunity for scoring. They're like the only team in the history of the NBA to have 8 players score over 200 points over the course of an NBA postseason. Another true definition of a team, the Indiana Pacers, and you could see it on that stat right there. Great season, doesn't end in a victory. Heartbreaking. You never know if you have the chance to get back to that, but heads held high should be all of the Pacers players and that entire organization. When we bounce back tomorrow on Tuesday, besides having the possibility of talking to Rocky, we'll see when Hockey with Rocky will be this week. We are going to break down the Kevin Durant to Houston trade a little bit more and talk a little bit more about OKC's championship, because I think the two correlate. Andrew Romanella, The Rome Show, 12 OZ Sports. Thanks for tuning in. here on a Monday. We're here every single day. You know that. Just subscribe to 12 Ounce Sports. It'll make your life easier. You have an electric start to your week, okay? Just because it's Monday doesn't mean it have to be a bad day. All right? Andrew Romanella. Peace.
Thank you for listening.